Welcome back to this new series that I told you that I would be doing, where we interview people in their different fields, and then yeah, I'm definitely going to mute my phone. hmm Should have thought of should have thought of that before, but yes, we interview people who are in different stages in their fields, and yeah, we'll get them to share. And if that is something that you want to get into, it'll be very beneficial for you to watch it. So today I have a very, 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 very special guest. We have Rochelle. She's a nutritionalist, and I'm going to share with you her bio really, really quickly, and then I'm going to invite her onto the stage. Can you tell? I'm so excited. Okay, so Rochelle is a registered nutritional therapy practitioner with a BANT and CNHC. I'm sorry, I'm gonna need you to explain that when you do come up. Okay, she founded Elle Rock Nutrition, her nutritional therapy consultant business, in 2016. She has a rich background in diverse healthcare settings and holds a postgraduate diploma in nutritional therapy coupled with a BSc honors, okay, not just a regular BSc, it's in honors, yes, in molecular medicine. She blends scientific knowledge with her passion for promoting well being. She believes that everyone being in health and living in freedom, and offers personalized science business. Oh my gosh, science business. Can you tell? I'm just so excited right now. Can't even get the words out. Science based nutrition and lifestyle advice via Elle Rock Nutrition, her consultancy service to help you reach your health goals, overcome challenges, and live life to the fullest. We love that. Beyond individual consultations, she provides and contributes articles, presentations, group talk, as well as interviews as a BANT registered nutritionist dedicated to help others realize their health potential. And of course, if you want to do one-to-one support towards optimal well-being, performance, and good health, you can see her website in the description below to book your services. So now, without further ado, I'm going to pull to the stage Rochelle. Hi, Rochelle.
Hi, Zharia. Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm okay. I'm always a bit nervous about interviews, but I'm also excited. I really want to get the knowledge out. So thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, it's no problem. I know you definitely helped me with that sickness. You told me about magnesium, and I promise you it's definitely what I needed.
Okay, thank God.
And that vitamin D. I know
Yeah,
you're an advocate for it. So
absolutely.
thanks for the, thanks for the
Absolutely.
advice in that. Okay. So I'm sure me as well as the people want to know what made you want to venture into the path of nutrition?
Um, okay, so when I was younger, I actually loved science. And that was also coupled with the fact that I I loved people in and I wanted to see people get better. I have seen so many people suffer from ill health over the years, especially in my younger years. And even myself, I had experienced problems such as irritable bowel syndrome, asthma, um, mild scoliosis, all of these things that caused a lot of pain and disruption. And from a very young age, my mother introduced me to complementary medicine practitioners because sometimes our health service could only do so much. So my mum had to look elsewhere. And so by studying different people such as kinesiologists and chiropractors and herbalists, it really helped me um, improve. And that was one of the things that opened up my eyes to um, an opportunity to develop a nutrition career, to walk in a nutrition career. There's a few more things, but you're welcome to interrupt me because I know that time is short.
That's very interesting, and it's through those different experiences, going through those different illnesses as well as wanting to help other people, that you thought, okay, this is the path that I want to go.
Yeah.
Talk about divine timing.
Man, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, okay, divine timing. So I also studied molecular medicine. I wanted to be lots of different things, Zaria. I wanted to be a scientist, a doctor, a nurse. And when I did go to university the first time, I studied molecular medicine. And
Mm,
now that degree was largely looking at chemical pathways in the body and how disease forms and how pharmaceutical interventions can help. But I remember towards the end of my degree, I chose a module called medicinal plants, and
mm,
it would they would show you how a lot of medicines originated from plants.
mhm,
And also they also touched upon how food could be used as medicine. So like oats contain a soluble fiber called beta glucans, and
mhm.
that helps with the kind of removal of used bile acids in our body. And when we eat the oats and the beta glucans, it brings down our, well, quote unquote, bad cholesterol levels. So I was sitting in this lecture and I was starting to think, Lord, I would love if I could do something like this. Now, at that time, I wouldn't say that I was thinking, yeah, nutrition, but it's just one of those things that was pointing me into that direction.
Wow,
Mm.
that's amazing. You see, I don't think it's a coincidence. After eating all that fried chicken,
Mhm.
my body suddenly started to crave oats. So that's amazing. Wow. Thank you for sharing that story with us. I think that is something that we need to pay attention to, these different little things in our lives that would possibly point us into the direction that we are supposed to go.
Mm.
So, based on you sharing that story, I think it's really important to ask you how, well, first of all, I think you did say that the body can heal itself, right? Through the different foods that we eat. So I want to
Mm.
know, what kind of foods apart from oats that we should be eating that would help our body to heal from different diseases that we may have, or to
Okay.
prevent. Mhm.
Oh, to prevent. Okay. Um, where to start? So, okay, you're talking about healing. So that means that there is an imbalance in the body that has caused um, maybe a sickness or a sign or a symptom to appear. And so sometimes imbalances, you have to reverse engineer this and think, why is there an imbalance in the first place? And
Mhm.
that could be due to the foods that we eat, unhealthy foods. So, in as much as foods can help heal, the wrong foods and the wrong amount can actually cause imbalances and disease. So say if we have a lot of ultra processed foods now, um, foods that are heavily processed and have additives, sugars, nasty ingredients, extra salt, all of those things, they that can cause the body to be um, in a state of lack of harmony. And so one of the things that you first have to do is remove the triggers, the things that are causing the disruptions. And then you need to focus on what foods heal. So we know that vitamin C, for instance, is a fantastic nutrient that heals.
Yeah.
It specifically functions as a wound healing vitamin. And foods that are high in vitamin C are citrus fruits, such as orange and grapefruit, peppers. You've got your yellow, red bell peppers. You have strawberries, black currants, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, potato, and vitamin C helps actually stimulate the production of collagen, which a lot of people are taking these days for good skin and good hair. But it's an abundant protein in the body. So when we have the vitamin C foods, it can support our immune system and provide healing there. It can support wounds, and it can help with our skin and our hair. When we think about healing, we also think about imbalances, as I've already said. And sometimes we have imbalances due to nutritional deficiencies. So,
Mm.
for instance, if someone is excessively tired and has pale skin and suffers from hair thinning, dry hair, or alopecia, hair loss, they may well have an iron deficiency, which is a mineral the body needs. And um, if a lab test shows that you have low iron levels or an iron deficiency, the
Mm.
health practitioner might say, okay, you need an iron supplement, or you need to eat iron-rich foods such as organ meats like liver, but organic liver, uh, red meat, seafood, and then you have plant sources of iron such as legumes, white beans. Um, you have spinach and potatoes as well. And I know I'm rambling, but I'm trying to get everything out.
Oh, this is very interesting.
Yeah. And so sometimes the body is in a state of imbalance because there is a deficiency, and it's
Mm.
the nutrients in the food that will rebalance to help heal. But then even further than that, Saria, sometimes we have the deficiency or inadequate levels because our body is not even absorbing the foods or nutrients that in the first place.
Mm.
So that can always be because of our gut lining. There's a quote that says that all diseases start in the gut. And that's not exactly true, but you can say that a lot of chronic inflammatory diseases start in the gut. So our gut is amazing. And when it's when it's when it's not well, or where there's an imbalance because we're eating too much sugar, which is feeding bad bacteria in our gut. Okay, there's a sugar issue, so yeah, we need to
Oh,
talk.
you remember? You know this? You know I love my sugar.
Yeah, and that I mean, sugar is in a lot of the foods we eat, and any carbohydrate food that we eat, it will break down into sugar. But when we're having added sugar, girl, it's feeding that bad bacteria. It's causing the layers of cells in our gut that is supposed to be a barrier to become weak and let foods that shouldn't go into our immune system and into our bloodstream through. And that's where symptoms and problems are caused. But when we start to look after our gut by removing those triggers and the things that are bothering it, like the sugar and the ultra processed foods, and we start to put good things in, like foods that are rich in zinc, like nuts and seeds, meat again, chickpeas, sea vegetables, seaweed. They can. It's that zinc that will help with the tissue healing, just like vitamin C does. It also helps the gut produce enzymes to help digest the food. Remember, I said sometimes we're not even absorbing it properly. Um, Yeah, so we always need to look back at what is causing this imbalance, this symptom, this sign, and work from there to heal the body.
If
Mouth.
you don't mind, I do have a follow-up question.
Uh-huh.
How is it that you can figure this out? How do you know that this is the particular issue that I'm having that's causing this deficiency?
Good question. There's a few ways. So one of the things I do in my practice is functional laboratory testing. So you can
Mm,
test if a person is deficient in something. I love to do vitamin D tests. I know that most of the population probably need like extra vitamin D, but until you show someone, it's like they're like, oh yeah, Rochelle, okay, that makes sense. So there's laboratory testing. Um, and sometimes there's a plethora of symptoms that can point to a particular imbalance. So, um, okay, so say like, um, okay,
no, it's okay.
sensitive to chemicals,
Mm-hmm.
um, whether that's the smell in them. Say
Mm-hmm.
someone is getting headaches. Um, say if there's um, a lot of PMS issues,
Mm-hmm.
um, acne. These things could potentially point to poor detoxification in the body, and then you realize there's a need to support the liver function better. You may try and get someone to have more of the nutrient called choline, which is in meats but also can be supplemented. You might try and get someone to have dark green leafy vegetables, which are great for supporting detoxification. Um, yeah, and so you can look at laboratory testing. You can look at groups of symptoms that may point to something. Um, Sorry, there's another thought. Sometimes people have white, oh gosh, I say
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
striations, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I don't know if you
so
can see it, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
on the nails. In fact, years ago, I used to have white lines. I used to have terrible acne, and my immune system was bad, so I was catching colds and whatnot. And these things are very strongly indicative of a zinc deficiency. And as I started to learn about nutrition or low levels of zinc, it was like red flags, red flags. But it wasn't until I actually saw it on a test that I was like, oh yeah, that is a zinc deficiency. As soon as I started to eat more nuts and seeds and heal the gut as well, because I wasn't absorbing zinc that well either. Then the white lines went, my nails started to grow better, my
Mm-hmm.
skin, oh my days. Sorry, if I pulled up a picture right now, you would see how bad the acne was, even in
Mm-hmm.
adulthood. And my immune system, I got less colds, and it was all down to zinc. So certain symptoms, especially in a group, can point, but it is good to do testing.
Mm. That is so interesting because I've always, well, they're not as large as they used to be on my finger, which is why I didn't really pick up on camera. But I do have little white spottings on my nails, and I didn't know it was a zinc problem. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for
There is one
sharing.
other nutrient that it could be connected to. But yeah, it's definitely important to have your nuts and seeds. Do you have your nuts and seeds?
I was actually having almonds the other day, but
You can
seeds, no.
you can try, you can start, adding some as a snack. If you snack. So if people don't snack, I'm not trying to tell them to start eating more. But if you do snack, you can substitute some of your snacks for seeds and nuts. Get that good fat in, that good protein, and the other nutrients.
I think I'll try salted. I know you're gonna give me the side eye, but salted what's it called? Sunflower seeds.
You know what? Every step is a step of progress, I guess. So
Yeah.
it takes you having the sunflower seeds sorted. to start, I guess, but then work away or work with me so we can just get you to have raw sunflower seeds. And you
What
will
about with
enjoy.
honey?
Huh?
What about with honey?
Raw. How you said, it's natural, it's antimicrobial, but it is quite naturally high in sugar. And if you've already told me, for instance, that you eat a bit of sugar already, so
Yeah, I haven't had any so far though, but yes.
I mean, like, we can use honey therapeutically. And when we're ill and when we're feeling like we're getting a cold, put that in your tea. You know, maybe you have half a teaspoon or a teaspoon when you feel like your throat is not so good. Um, I just my approach to many things is lower your sugar intake.
Okay.
Your immune system will thank you. Your gut will thank you. Inflammation in the body comes down. Your skin will thank you. Your energy levels should improve. Hey, sugar. The thing is, I just want people to remember this thing. Every time we eat a carbohydrate food, whether that's the fruits, potatoes, pasta, rice, bulgur wheat, um, anytime you eat a rich carbohydrate food, that breaks down into sugar anyway. When you're adding sugar in your tea, oh, it's just half a teaspoon, a teaspoon. I was about to say Coke, but I am going to say Coke. A Coke drink, um, a cookie, a biscuit. These are just added sugar that the body really doesn't need, and the body has to fight against. We live in a fallen world already. We have air pollution, we have the stresses of life, we have less sleep than we used to years ago, we have less nutrients in our soil. Our body's already dealing with that. For us to add sugar on top of that, when it's in our control to lower it, it's like an unnecessary challenge, extra challenge. I'm not saying you never can eat like cake. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying on a day-to-day basis, let's try and get that sugar as low as it can be.
Still bargaining for the sugar people. How about once or twice a week? I could do that. Oh.
No, I'm joking. One more thing, okay, you're my client now. We're saying 1 to 2 sugars a week. What does that look like?
Uh, like a sugary snack, like an Oreo or cake.
Um, I'll say this. It can be good to schedule your indulgences
Mm.
so that it avoids you from binging or going over the top. If you know it's coming and you have a set number that you're going to have and you've prepared for it, it can potentially support you in reducing your overall sugar intake. My hope is that people just constantly work and try and progress. Um, and so it gets to the point where you go from your 2 to 1, and you go from your 1 to like every now and then. You know what I mean? Let me put this into a bit more context. Me and my family, and my mum probably is watching, we used to eat takeaway often before we had like more nutrition and health knowledge.
Mm.
And that and I think God help me if I get this wrong. Um, but I think we used to have like takeaway maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. But the studies show that when you have 1 serving of McDonald's fries per week, it increases your cardiovascular risk, disease risk. Um, I think it increases heart failure by 12%, if my memory serves me correctly. If it doesn't, forgive me. And Google, do research on everything I'm saying. That's fine. But it's because of this one serving of ultra processed foods can increase your risk of heart disease and heart failure. Like, it puts it into perspective how we should be trying to focus on just getting more whole foods into our diet and less ultra processed foods. So sometimes, Zaria, it's about not even thinking, oh, oh, what indulgences can I have when? But it's about thinking, how can I get more of these whole foods in, and what can I maybe swap to get more of the fruits in, and the grapes or the prunes or the clementines in instead of the Oreos and cakes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand you. I mean, I do both.
Good.
And if I overindulge, then I don't do it for another 2 weeks and I'm eating lots of oats and I don't add sugar to my oats.
Oh,
So
well.
it's a nice tasting one. It has fruits in there, so
Do you know what I just remembered as well? So, like, you can even add cinnamon when you don't. Yeah, cinnamon. It actually mimics the action of insulin, which is a hormone that the body uses to lower blood
Mm.
glucose levels. And cinnamon tastes sweet, so it's like a win-win. We can use mixed ground spice as well. So there's so many alternatives out there.
Mm. That's very interesting. I do have cinnamon every now and again,
Mm.
especially when I get too cold. Um, I'm happy that you brought about the bad foods because that was actually my next question for you. What are some of the foods that you think just absolutely ruin our health after, of course, McDonald's fries?
Um, okay, so yeah, well, ultra processed foods such as breakfast cereals, and I know a lot of
Mhm.
people are surprised at that, but a lot of breakfast cereals are full of sugar and full of
Mm.
additives. This is why I encourage people to read the ingredients list of things. Um, Also, a lot of soft drinks you have to be careful for. I already mentioned one like Coca-Cola, lemonade. You have to. There's tons of sugar in there. A lot of those drinks. Energy drinks also are not good for us. Now I understand that sometimes there will be times where you will need to opt for it. Maybe you're doing a long drive to Scotland in the middle of the night and you don't want to crash, and so you need to stay awake. I understand that, but having it energy drinks. Some people have energy drinks like every day. Not good for us at all. Um, we know that a lot of packaged goods like uh, cakes and cookies, pastries, um, can have very bad impacts on our health. Um, a lot of foods that are refined, so they've been stripped of their goodness and their nutrients. So a lot of white flour foods like white pasta and uh, a white bread. They can be quite unhealthy. The fiber has been stripped from it. The bran, the nutrients, the B vitamins that we need for energy as well. So eating a lot of processed white flour and refined food can be quite bad for us, raises our blood sugar levels again, and deprives us from the opportunity of getting more vitamins that we need and minerals.
Wow. I didn't know about the white bread. I mean, what if it's white bread but it has seeds on top of it?
That's how they get you, girl. Um, you know what? I wish I could almost share my screen, but there are so many breads on our shelves, well, on the supermarket shelves, that appear to be healthy, but they're lying to you.
Oh.
You have to be vigilant, and especially when it comes to um, bread, as you've mentioned, look at the ingredients. If there's more than like 6 ingredients, and ingredients that you can't pronounce, and ingredients that you wouldn't find in your kitchen, it's most likely an ultra processed product food. So it's best to avoid that. So like a lot of shops, you can buy wholemeal pita bread, for instance, and it will only have 3 ingredients, like wholemeal flour, salt, and water. Whereas certain breads that have the seeds on top, they'll have so many emulsifiers and mono this and the fortified wheat one. When you see something saying fortified wheat, it means that they've stripped the wheat of everything that it originally came with, that bran that I was talking about, that fiber that I was talking about, B vitamins, etc. Stripped it off. It's now become refined, and then they've had to fortify it by putting stuff back in. So they've added the B vitamins back, and the calcium, and the iron, and the whatnot. So when you see fortified wheat, that's also a sign that maybe this might be an ultra processed food. But one of the main things is like a list as long as your arm, and words that you can't pronounce or wouldn't find the ingredients in your kitchen.
Wow. Very interesting. I didn't know about that at all.
Mm.
May have to reconsider some of my choices then.
I mean, there's so many different things out there. As I mentioned, the wholemeal pita bread, and you can find like certain rye breads that they're just simple, like organic rye, salt, and Bob's your uncle. So sometimes it just takes a little research and observation, but once you find the foods that are good for you, it's easy from then on.
So I want to know, what is one encouraging thing? Because this could be a lot to process, and some people are probably a bit worried, like, oh my goodness, do I have to just, there's so much things that I need to get rid of. What is one thing that you want to leave with the audience that they should, at least something that they could start today?
Okay. So think whole foods, which are natural foods. They're either not so much processed, minimally processed, or completely unprocessed. And just think of ways that you can add more natural and whole foods into your meals. And so that could look like adding another portion of veg into your meal, and maybe taking out, I don't know, maybe some of the starchy carbohydrates or starchy vegetables, like potato that's in your meal, and replacing it with extra broccoli or tomatoes or avocados. So that's one way. You and I kind of touched upon swapping and substituting unhealthy things for more healthy things. So if you constantly snack on crisps, maybe you might want to change that to a handful of nuts that you carry around with you, sunflower seeds, or maybe you want to change it to seaweed, which is natural. It's high in iodine. Iodine is needed for our thyroid gland, which controls our temperature, our metabolism in our body, and a lot of the foods that we eat don't have a lot of iodine. So maybe you might want to consider eating seaweed, seafood. But yeah, just doing these kind of quick swaps. Or if you're not really a savory person, maybe you might want to just go for some fruit, like we mentioned, some grapes or some berries, which are low in sugar but high in nutrients and antioxidants, which protect our cells from damage. We talked about swapping sugar for cinnamon or mixed ground spice. And yeah, it's just about starting small. So I don't want to overload anyone or overwhelm. And I am here, I am a practitioner, and you're welcome to speak to me and message me. But just think small. It's about creating small habits, and good habits become more good habits. They help you to progress, you know. So just start small and you will grow from there. But the most important thing is that you start. So add a whole food into your meal, into your snack, and start from there.
I love that. Thank you. I was getting nervous that you're gonna say rice. Let's not talk about rice though.
Hey,
It's rice on my diet.
I can talk about rice.
I think everyone watching, they know what she's gonna say about rice, but I don't want to be warned. I really love my rice. I don't want to give it up.
We'll try brown rice to start with. Oh dear. What about mixing the brown rice?
Quinoa. I can do quinoa.
Yeah.
I can do quinoa.
Yes. I like that.
With the white rice, I'm joking. Okay. So I also want you to share with the people, what do you do when you're not practicing nutrition?
What do I do when I'm not practicing nutrition?
Mm-hmm.
A fair amount. So I would say that I'm relatively active in my church as a youth leader, and I support the digital team at church as well. I'm actually a leader of the digital team. What do I do? I'm also a spoken word artist. So I write, I perform, I minister. What else? I love going for walks. I love nature. So I try and go out for walks as often as I can. And I try and spend time, and I like to spend time with people one-on-one. I probably don't do it as much as I ought to, but I know that this year I've had a desire in my heart to spend more time with people one-on-one. So I am trying to find that balance as well. Yeah.
I love that. If the time permits, should I share a little bit of one of your poems?
Oh dear. If you like.
Okay, so let me just pull it up. Okay, so this one is called, as you can see, Solomon's Revelation and David's Wisdom. Spoken word, of course, by Rochelle. Had to give you a little treat. Okay, let's play.
I just want to apologize if you noticed the wet patch. It wasn't because I was nervous. I've got to screw my water bottle. I believe the Lord is leading me to do another poem, and it's off one of the words that you just said. You'll hear it. It's called Solomon's Revelation and David's Wisdom. I need to guard my heart. Every beat should be a melody to you, yet if your word is not hidden deep, every beat becomes a discordant tune. Am I a doer or just a hearer? I need to protect the words received so that the seeds take root and grow, not choked by the ways of the world or greed. And it's not money that I love, but the root of my evils are selfish desires, procrastination, disrespect, and lust. Maybe lust is not the correct definition, but my vision gets blurred by aesthetics and by guys who are attractive on the inside. My hormones oppose my Christ-like genetics, and I start to double knot ties with my soul, but I'm tired. I'm tired of falling for people that you never desired. Fiending for attention and happy to be admired. Wavering on convictions and amnesic of commands, and yet making the exact same mistakes as my past. Slow to cast down imagination. Like my habits outweigh your lordship. Like my plans are higher than your plans. Like my thoughts are better than your thoughts. Like temporary affection could fill this longing, a gap created by biology, society, and or you. But true fulfillment comes when I plunge in to the infinite and unconditional love that is you. But my earthly father's love left me confused. And the world screams that you and your love aren't true. But we forget the devil's part in the evil that exists and put up barriers between us and you. But Jesus, you break every obstacle and every chain. With the best act of love the world has ever known, you died in my place, knowing the sins that would take place, and then called me to be one with you and one of your own. My desire for companionship is not wrong, but finding it in people you don't approve proves that my focus needs to be more stronger. So to get my vision back, I had to declare the truth. I confess my feelings, the thoughts and actions that led them to grow, meditated on your word, repented and turned. Lord, I owe you my obedience and my heart.
Wow.
I'm honest in my work.
Wow. No, that was amazing.
Praise
I was holding on to every word. Like, I didn't want to stop it. That was amazing, Rochelle.
That's taken me back as well. I haven't, even though it was Valentine's Day recently and I thought of the poem, I hadn't thought of the everything that I went through when writing that. But I love the fact that God is able to use my tests and turn them into testimonies. And when you reach the end of the poem, you will be encouraged by it. Yeah, I thank God.
Oh, that's amazing. And I thank you for being so brave to be able to share such an impactful poem. And I'm definitely going to link it, if I haven't already, in the description below.
Yes.
So you can watch the full thing.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Feel free to, send her a message as well to book her for any poetry readings. You heard how good it is. And I'm just going to also remind you that her link, if you want to speak to her one-on-one, it's in the caption down below or description box down below. So feel free to reach out to her for one-to-one coaching services. So Rochelle, I know you have to go. I'm so sad. I had so many more questions I could ask you because this was such an insightful conversation. And I just want to thank you so much for coming on the platform and speaking to us.
Thank you for having me. And, I hope that in future I can come back again and we can talk about another topic as well. So that would be awesome.
Oh, no, definitely. I'm already thinking, what questions did I leave out that I could ask you later on in another video? So I'll definitely have you back on.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, everyone, I just want to thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment, leave a like, possibly even a subscribe. Don't forget to check out Rochelle on all her social medias as well. They're linked down below. So I'll see you another time on Talks with Zharia. Bye, everyone.
Bye.